Okay, guys, you guys have been asking, right? You guys have been asking, and I guess it's just about that time. I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't want to have to get all political, right? But after watching Rusty, I tease you, friend or foe, jerk off or not. One thing I agree with you on is like this whole like Trump thing, right? Like, would you call me a Trump supporter? Currently, no, in this present day and age of 2024. But interestingly, I'm not an anti-Trump. I'm going to tell you guys my qualms with Trump, right? And my qualms with Biden. But interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, I had seen a video. I saw a video suggesting, right, that some uh, that looked better in theory. That looked better in theory. Okay. So I had seen a video. I should have shared it on my. I was just kind of over being angry or like researching, and it caught me in a mood where I just didn't give a shit. But I took note of like, hey, that is kind of interesting. Forget where it was. I believe it was like a uh, right kind of news station. It was a news video about people being targeted apparently for voting for Trump. And I find that so interesting because if you guys know anything about my channel, I joke about being a targeted individual, and I ask, what happened? What happened? What did I do? I voted for Trump. That logic, because look, guys, I have my I have my registration card here from. I don't care about my personal info, like fuck, you got as a not targeted individual who has I don't give a shit, I ain't got nothing to lose, I told you, Taliban, powers that be, incels who think they own Facebook groups about Mandela effect, come for me. What are you gonna do about it? But see that there? Yeah. Do you guys think I support I don't know. Like, do you guys I feel like some of you are confused on like my political stance. At this point it's all a mess. But back then, what was this? What this was the 2018 I registered. So I didn't vote the first year Trump ran, right? I didn't vote. I'm not apologizing for that, okay? I thought it was cool that he was running. I was like, oh, that actually kind of makes sense, And I told you guys, I like the way Trump talks, his directness, but he is hilarious. But certainly I wouldn't vote for him just because of that. It's just a plus, right? Okay. So the second term where it's okay, guys, my thing with Biden, take politics out of it. It's just my issue with politics in general because Biden, if he worked at the sweatshop factory in Tioga County that, still to this day pays, I think, $7.25 an hour that I worked at, he would be fired for some of he would be let go at any other job. Somebody acting so bizarre, and I'm saying bizarre as in say not in an attacking way against him. People have joked, it's like elderly abuse, right? To like support Trump, to support Biden. Just as a human with like empathy, he could say all he wants. What older person? A lot of isn't that kind of a sign of dementia too? Is like no, I don't need help. I don't need help opening this trunk. Or they might say those words like, yeah, no, I got this. I'm good. But don't drug addicts too when they're like fucked up at work or any job. He wouldn't be he would be fired. So that it's okay when he's the commander in chief of an entire nation. That's bizarre to me. Okay. And I've tried to find things to like about Biden. And again, that's why I don't vote sometimes, guys, because I'm not just going to go off of personality because it's my duty to vote. When I feel there's a threat to our, like, they're a scary option versus a not scary option per se. There's a very scary option, right? Then you'll see me voting. My voting history is the first year I was able to vote, I voted for, I think it was 2004, and it was, who was that? Bush and Kerry, right? I believe. And guys, are you like, you people supporting Biden? I just want to know, like, it has to be because you just find Trump off-putting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because again, as a New Yorker, or as a tri-state gal, right, as a Bergen County Hackensack gal, with heavy with Gemini ascendant, and direct, kind of like this, um, um, not earthy, not earthy, vulgar. Vulgar to me doesn't mean direct, guys. I'm sorry. That's not my interpretation of the word, but I suppose, well, cursing and just foul language, yes, but Trump doesn't do that. He doesn't. He just uses a tone that you guys don't like, and you don't like his directness. I don't even think you guys, I have to, and frankly, I don't even know what Trump says. Frankly, neither one of them should even be running. I've said this before. If you guys are, if you're, and again, in any other job, if you were under investigation for, um, you know, um, mm, not being a good employee, basically violating employer law, which I guess, who would be your employer, and in their case, the Constitution, or legislation, you shouldn't be allowed to run. So my vote will probably go to RFK. Most likely, certainly isn't going to Trump nor Biden. My issue with my issue, or whatever, or the bizarre thing that I have with, the issue I have with Trump is, it's so weird how he attracts very two different types of people, like both radical in the sense of, and I've said this before, like, people have put him on a pedestal, oh, he's the voice, like, we like he's a revolution starter, right? Like, obviously he represents something that the country needed, but that's not always a good thing either, because there is a concerning, I could see why Biden supporters, they're kind of like the Joe Rogan fan base. There's particular Trump supporters who make other Trump supporters look bad. For instance, you have like kind of intellectual ish people who are good, like, not racist, not homophobic, don't give a shit, couldn't care less what other people do with, like, in their private choices in life. If me being one, I have a friend, I've mentioned him before. He's dark skinned, guys. He's dark skinned, some kind of Asian or something. Devin from Canada. Now let's just say he's Indian, right, guys? Just for like, or just imagine what an Indian, like Indian looks like. So yeah, like, he's dark skinned, right? And he's not racist, but he was a Trump supporter because and he's a successful guy, Devin, my friend. But then you have people like all of the residents of my former community, like, Popham and George Budd, and it's like, how I feel like some, what, I don't know if it's a healthy thing connecting us, guys, such different types of people. Yes, sometimes two opposites, right? Like, yeah, like they come to a middle ground, but sometimes differing is not always necessarily opposite, because even opposites are on the same line of a baseline, right? They're on the same baseline, they're just on opposite ends. Now, we're talking like there's differing people like me and George Budd. I would say that's like baseline and, ukulele or something, like it's apples and oranges. So it's kind of concerning when you have such differing peoples uniting. Like, what is it uniting us? That's my issue. He does induce kind of, it's not necessarily his fault, I don't think, hyping up these radical people, right? These MAGA, what people would call the MAGA supporters. They are out there, guys. They are, because there are racist supporters of Trump, and it's like, how? but guys, the fact that Biden is racist too, okay, he is. He fucking is, all right? So I don't know, like, what is I never get an answer from people on why exactly. And that's where I agree with you, Rusty, in your video is, that's what's so irritating about this Trump attack. And frankly, if you're just going by human basic, like, let's do like let's go to elementary school, right? Human behavior. um, Sometimes, guys, when people you almost Trump, if you hate him so much but you can't tell me why, it almost makes people like him more. um, the eyes start going on you and the disdain, because you're sending out so much hate and you can't give an answer, and it also just makes him more intriguing, kind of, for some people. It's kind of like the dare program, it's like, oh, like, oh, is he bad? You don't say, huh? I don't feel good unless I'm living bad. Some of us are like that out there, demos, you hardcore demos. But, like, yeah, I've never understood. Just say he's off-putting, Um, and frankly, I don't even know if he committed. They both shouldn't run. But here's the issue with RFK is his voice is. It's hard to listen to him. I'm sorry, and I don't even mean it to make fun, because he looks. He seems. He's like. There's just a sense of, like, it's almost like there's like this puppy dog eye look to RFK, He's like, I know, like, look, the puppy dog eye, like, or old dog eye, like, I know I don't have much time, but I'm trying to make the best of it. Like, I know my time is limited. Family, like a very self-aware elderly dog or some family pet or something, like, he has that look in his eyes, but his voice, it is hard to, and that I hate to say it, because there are things that it's like, hey, we should progress and not let these sort of superficial things direct our opinion on political matters. But it's for me to say that with about his voice, it's just hard to. It's kind of like that's it. He's got that going. He's got that going against him. So can, like, work on that maybe, or something, or just have, like, just do sign language, or because I've always wanted I feel like the whole world talk about the tower. Well, we weren't talking about the Tower of Babel. I was many months ago, back in, like, August, with you guys. So to continue on from that, like, hey, language separation. Like, oh my God, what if I get stuck in a foreign land? However will I communicate? Why isn't sign language being taught? That was always, like, confused me, because when Damon, my son with the autism, that was actually a great stepping stone for him to overcome his aggression. And I say aggression because he was frustrated because he couldn't express a lot of things that he was feeling. And sign language was a great. He didn't stick with it. Like, he eventually, it was enough to get. There's just something about sign language, but that would be a universal language, guys. I know some of you use, like Latin. Like, you real. I know I have a Latin dictionary too, guys. No, the universal language should be sign language, and that would really be to RFK's Jr.'s benefit too. I'm sorry, it just would. As far as Vivek, right? Vivek or Vivan, he he looks like, in a perfect world, right? I would say he should be, but we're just not at that level yet for, like, a young racially ambiguous president, that actually is intelligent and kind. It just, we're not ready for it. So sorry, maybe next term or something, But yeah, I don't know why. Like, I feel like you guys think that I'm, like, a Trump supporter now. I mean, a Biden supporter. I'm neither now. I don't give a shit about politics. That's also why I make fun of a lot of you's awakened wonders. I just don't like when people, you attack others for no real clear understood reason, and you want me to feel the way you do when I don't know what you even are feeling. It's kind of like typical mean girl behavior or elementary school bully gang behavior. It's so lame. and none of your guys' work speaks for it. Like, what have you done for me lately? First of all, who you? Who you? And secondly, what have you done for me lately? Why should I listen to you? All these people attacking Trump. I don't even know who the fuck you are.